Can Lamar Jackson make his wide receivers elite?
Yes, he can. Yes, he can, and yes,
everybody
he
knows
will.
we're going to disagree, but go ahead, Smitty.
Yes, he can, and yes, he will. Let's go over some of the facts, man. Hollywood Brown's best year of his career thus far has been with who? Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Yes, you can say he left. Why did he leave? I think he left. He wanted more bread, but who knows what the real reason is? Regardless of what the reason was, to this point, the best year of his career has been with Lamar Jackson. Another cat, my brother from Ball State, my guy, Willie Snead. Some of his best years have been with who? Lamar Jackson. Willie Snead, a guy who I love. I think he's really talented, but again, he's not a premier wide receiver. We can also speak about what's true and what's facts, and it's all love, but he's not a premier wide receiver. But he played very, very well with Lamar Jackson. In today's league, to me, tight ends are an extension of wideouts. We talked about it the other day, about how just the rule changes, the weight differences, the body differences, and you cannot tell me that Mark Andrews isn't a premier ball catcher, in the NFL. Why does that happen? Because of his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Now, does he still have a long ways to go? Yes, he does. Does he still have to show more in the playoffs? Absolutely. That's the one key ingredient that he's missing to get to that Super Bowl. They were a couple plays away last year. To me, that's the next step. That's the development that he has to continue to work at and get better. I saw our guy Stink, who I love, I respect. I think he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, if I'm not mistaken. I think he won one with Washington and 2 with the Broncos. Fact check me real quick if you get a chance, guys. So I respect and listen to everything he says. I'm going to hear it real quick. Last thing I'm going to say before we show the video, though, is one of the things that he mentioned was that Lamar Jackson has had all these first-round wide receivers. When has he had them, though? He got Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown left. He got Rashad Bateman. Bateman's hurt every single season. We can look at it as a fact. OBJ was a first-round guy. He got OBJ when he was a shell of himself. Nelson Aguilar, he's cool now, but again, we didn't get prime Nelson Aguilar. He got him at this point in his career. So when we mention things like that, we have to look at the context, because context matters. Bailey, go ahead and play that video for my guy, Mark Schlereth, a.k.a. Stink. All-time O-lineman.
I do not want to hear from all of you out there that are telling me that Lamar Jackson, well, they don't get him weapons. How many first-round wide receivers do you need to draft? Well, they're not drafting the right one. Well, you're not developing them. Well, how do you develop them? Well, your quarterback has a long way to go in developing wide receivers. So I don't want to hear that bullshit from you anymore. And you Baltimore fans, I'm tired of it. They drafted first-round talent. They've drafted tight ends in the first round. They've drafted 3 different wide receivers since 2018 in the first round. I mean, Aaron Rodgers went, 16, 17 years with the Green Bay Packers. They never drafted a guy in the first round, whether it was a tight end or a wide receiver for him. So don't tell me about it. I mean, it's one of those things. Don't tell me about the pain. Show me the baby. Produce in the playoffs.
Cap or fact, what he just said?
He said a lot. The last part is the fact. He needs to produce in the playoffs. As much as I love Lamar, there's another level that he has to show up in the playoffs. I would put a lot of the blame of some of their playoff losses, not all of it, but again, you're the quarterback, you're the leader, so I put a lot of blame in the playoffs on him. That is a fact. The wide receiver point is like, listen, you're comparing him to Aaron Rodgers, number one, which, again, Lamar is a future Hall of Famer, but he's a Hall of Famer because of the special talent that he has, the dual threat ability. He's not an Aaron Rodgers. We can all agree on that, number one. Number two, Aaron Rodgers wasn't happy about that. Aaron Rodgers wanted some first-round wide receivers. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not change history. Like, he was pissed off and upset because of the who's it? Not Trey Lance, dropping Jordan Love in the first round without telling him and not getting wide receiver. There's been years of in media, we've talked about this for years, about the lack of receiver help in the Green Bay locker room. So although I understand he made a lot of those receivers great, and that was his ultimately Stink's point, that doesn't mean it's a good thing. Just because somebody did it once in the one organization doesn't mean you should just do that everywhere. Again, Lamar Jackson is a different quarterback. He's a unique skill set. He's not the most accurate quarterback in the world. He's not a guy who's going to go out there and throw it 40 times and complete 32 of them. We know that's not who he is. We have to help him out in what makes him great. And again, the more talent you put around him, a la a Brock Purdy, a la Jalen Hurts, the better he'll perform. Now, again, he has talent around him now. He has to use that, execute that. I love Zay Flowers. He had a hell of a rookie year, but it's time to, again, this next year, we got to see more if they want to get to the promised land.
Okay, so you said a couple things that I'm going to fact check and make sure we're on the same page with. Number one, Aaron Rodgers' point wasn't him getting a guy drafted or wanting a guy. You just said he didn't want a receiver. No, that's not the point. The point is he didn't get a receiver. Aaron Rodgers never got a receiver. That's why he was pissed at the end. He never got a receiver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so let's talk about the receivers that actually left him. Remember how they had about 6 guys nobody ever heard of about 3 years in a row, and then all of a sudden you get these household names, and I'm going to say household because they're the youngest group now, but remember when Aaron took over the Watson kid, and everyone was like, who's
Christian Watson? Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy? Nobody knew who he was. Who got paid for Kansas City that was there with him in Green Bay? Scantling.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Look at the mid receivers that we all say mid who actually got a big bag, leaving him because they produced numbers wise and got a salary somewhere else. I'm not even going to talk about Lamar. I'm going to even mention Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes has still yet to get a receiver paid.
Tyreek Hill.
No, that's not. Don't mention that. I knew you were going to mention that name.
You got to though,
no,
right?
You can't.
Why not?
Because Tyreek Hill, last time I checked, had better numbers with Tua than he did with Mahomes. That guy was going to get his numbers regardless of who the quarterback was. And Tyreek Hill was already a high-rated commodity. I'm talking about who did Patrick Mahomes get better and actually get a bag for? Not yet. Not yet. He hasn't. Just throwing it out there. If Tyreek would have got worse in Miami, then I would say argue it.
All right.
But he didn't. He actually had 2 years better than he did with Mahomes, stat-wise.
I don't want to cut you off because I had a long rant. Only note I want to make, though, is we also kind of praised Mahomes for last season of the lack of help he had and still being able to get it done. So it's like, I get they haven't got paid yet, but like he's shown that he can make the most out of whatever he has.
And I also praise Andy Reid and Kelsey, guys that no one else has. But let's keep back to Aaron Rodgers and what he's made versus Lamar Jackson and what he's made. Hollywood Brown, I broke this down 2 years ago extensively with Shaun Salisbury on actual yards per catch, yards at or behind the line of scrimmage, and all the yak yards that Hollywood Brown accumulated through bubble screens, now screens, hitches, and just straight up fade balls in a box that was 9 deep. Meaning 9 guys were in the box. Lamar Jackson was getting cover 0 because they were in 32 personnel. So everybody out there that understands, 3 backs, 2 tight ends. So it's a loaded box with Hollywood Brown coming out of the backfield in the 3-back set and catching wheel routes against a linebacker using his speed, which is a great scheme by Roman. But just let's make no mistake about it. It's not like we're in 10 personnel spread and Lamar Jackson's back here and nickel and diamond everybody and going blue, 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 blue. He's never done it. Now, listen, Lamar Jackson is not a passer. Lamar Jackson is a thrower of the football. There are great quarterbacks that are athletic, and there are athletes playing quarterback. Lamar Jackson is an athlete playing quarterback. Listen, does it get it done? Right now, he's the MVP, so it got it done. I'm not here to knock Lamar Jackson. What I'm trying to just give you a clear understanding of, there's great passers and there's great guys that make elite receivers Hall of Famers, and there's guys that make good receivers great. And he has yet to get anyone over the hump at the wide receiver position. Smitty tried to move the goalpost, and he started to add Mark Andrews in there and these tight ends.
Got to in today's league.
Not really. When you're a great quarterback, though, you can make mid receivers better, as we just pointed out with Aaron Rodgers. But the tight end now is a Travis Kelce wide receiving pass catcher guy.
Right.
Mark Andrews isn't that guy. Mark Andrews is the inline receiver at the line of scrimmage as a traditional tight end that they move around to catch mismatches on certain safeties and linebackers in the run game, RPO, and play action game. It's not like
you still got to give him the ball, though, JB. You know that.
But I understand. What I'm trying to tell you the difference is Travis Kelce is displaced in the formation. He's in the slot. He's out wide. Mark Andrews is very, very, very seldom out wide.
What about Isaiah Likely, though, who pretty much played all last year because Mark Andrews got hurt?
What about him?
You don't see Isaiah Likely playing a little outside as a receiver.
Well, you had to, though. You had no wide out, so you had to move him. He's a more athletic guy.
Exactly. My point is, he was a no-name guy, and now people respect him because of Lamar getting the ball.
Guy. He's your only guy.
But just because you're the only guy there doesn't mean you're automatically going to ball out.
But what I'm saying is Lamar Jackson's offense predicated him to throw to one guy. They had no other tight end. Likely was in there by
default. Yeah,
he had to go in there. He's an athletic guy, similar to your boy that went to the Giants,
Darren Waller.
And by the way, when you force feed and run game, you better hit the tight end. You better hit a guy in space. Likely was able to win one-on-one matchups, and Lamar got on the football. Listen, I've already said Lamar had the most mediocre MVP stat-wise of winning an MVP. But he's the MVP, and that's the fact. He's the MVP. All I'm trying to tell you is he's not a passer of the football. He doesn't make receivers better. And when are we going to start holding him accountable for that fact? You have to make these middle-of-the-pack receivers elite in order to get to the Mahomes level, to these other guys' level of a Burrow, of a guy that's been to a Super Bowl. When can he do that? It's yet to be determined, but we're the time's ticking, dog. It's year 8. Like, at what point are you going to say, Smitty, all right, man, Lamar is really who he is. He's who we thought he was, too. Like, I've already said that years ago when he came into the league, and I got a buddy that coached him at Louisville, and unbelievable kid, great freaking nature talent. You can't tackle him one-on-one. I mean, it is what it is. But he's not a passer. He's not.
But that's cool, though. Like, I don't care about all that.
But you got to make receivers better,
do you win?
Question is, though, the receivers, can he make a receiver elite? That's the question.
I think Zay Flowers had a hell of a rookie year. He had to get on the ball. I mentioned Hollywood Brown. You could throw out scheme, whatever. The numbers are the numbers. But okay, cool. I hear you.
You know what?
I'm throwing out tight ends. Like, I hear what you're saying, but
to that point, Hollywood Brown's where right now?
Chiefs.
If he goes out and has this ridiculous season, it's really going to make Lamar look worse.
No, it don't. Mahomes is a different level. Like, as much as I like Lamar, he's not a Mahomes. We can all like that's. Yeah, but Mahomes is a lot better than Lamar Jackson.
The point is, can you get this guy the ball on time, in space, where he catches and runs? Hollywood did not do that. If you watch that season, which I've broken down, half of his yak yards were. We already talked about.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them were
with some deep balls too, though.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, the other half were cover 0, over the top beaters.
Beautiful though.
But I'm just saying it was like college. It was cover 0. You don't see cover 0 in the NFL, Smitty, unless you're running some crazy.
But when you play, teams. But why are they in cover 0?
Because you're in 32 personnel. You're fucking 32 personnel, right? And you're using him in the backfield. Look at that season. I watched that.
But I'm sitting there in cover 0 because of the threat that you are as in Lamar Jackson. So that, like, again, you're right. They don't play cover 0 in the NFL, but Lamar forces that. He's forcing the D coordinator to do something that they normally don't do, which allows his wide receivers to free up. That's a plus. Why are we looking at it as a negative?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay on the point of the question. The
yes, sir.
Question is, can he make receivers elite? I say no. Smitty says, yeah, we're in year 8. I've yet to see it so far. I'm with Mark Schlereth. I'm with him. I believe that
you don't think Zay Flowers can be elite based upon what you saw last year?
No, because he can be elite if he was with Aaron Rodgers. See, that's the thing. Elite requires an elite quarterback.
Did Zay not play well last year as rookie year?
He did, but remember, he was the one guy isolated one-on-one. They were in 12 personnel, and he ate as a rookie. And you had OBJ at times when he was healthy. And you had
my God.
No. What I'm saying is, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying he balled. I'm saying when OBJ was on the field healthy,
he's a threat.
It required coverage to be rotated. It required a rookie to say, all right, let's see what this rookie could do. The rookie got loose here and there. It's not like, but it wasn't. Come on, look at the catch. It wasn't like Zay Flowers was out there running curl, dig, comeback, post, bang 8, and Lamar's just hitting that motherfucker on top. Like, you got to watch what the product really shows.
But again, I agree that would never be Lamar though. And
that's what I'm saying.
But you say it. When you say it, you're saying it like that is a huge problem. What I'm saying is,
but I think you tossed the word elite around.
That's not his thing. Well, that was me on this question. Like, how do you define elite?
Yeah, I think you tossed the word around, like, because I think we've accepted mediocrity in this quarterback market, and I think we see a guy that wins MVP. We put him as like this elite guy.
He is,
but he's not elite.
Like,
position.
He's an elite player.
He's an elite player.
Right.
He's an elite football player.
Right.
No doubt. Come on now. I'm a recruiter. He's a elite football player. He's not an elite quarterback. He's an elite athlete. But he plays quarterback.
He plays quarterback
he's
though.
An athlete playing quarterback.
Yes, but my only problem.
Remember, you're a quarterback in the NFL, Smitty. You're not a quarterback in college. And we put the best athlete at quarterback, and let's go run double option. And
he's not that though, because the reason because when you say that, then to me, what I hear at least when someone says he's just a great athlete playing quarterback, to me that's like saying, okay, let's go out here and just grab Tyreek Hill, or let's go grab whoever you think who's an elite athlete and just put him at quarterback, and they can do the same thing Lamar is doing.
But name me a quarterback.
I think that belittles completely what he's doing, because it's not that easy at all. It's not that. No, it's not. He's just a unique talent that's really, he's amazing as a runner. He's good as a passer. You put him together, he's a MVP, future Hall of Fame player, and because he doesn't like go out there and pick you apart, 2-minute warning style, like the great singular passers, the Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady's, because that's who we're comparing him to. It's hard for, I think, you and some others to view him as a elite guy, because we're only comparing him to guys who are not him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to be petty, I can flip it and say, well, Peyton Manning can't do the triple option and run like Lamar. Like, no, you're great at what you're great at. Like, whatever makes you great is what makes you great. So there's certain running backs. Some running backs can catch off the backfield. Some can't. But are you great? Derrick Henry is great at what he does. Christian McCaffrey is great at what he does.
Could Lamar Jackson make Nakua elite like Stafford did last year?
Like Stafford did? I would say no, because, I mean, it's hard to assume that.
My point.
Yeah.
Cooper goes down, right? Cooper Kupp went out. He was hurt. You got a rookie out there that's a no-namer. And Matthew Stafford made him, I believe, he broke the record?
I think so, like a rookie. Yeah.
That's elite. That's QB ball spinning 101. That is an elite passing quarterback who takes a rookie, and my star receiver goes down and is injury prone the last 2 years, and I take Puka Nakua and make his ass fucking elite. That is what the QB position entails at the NFL level. He did it in Detroit. He did it with the Rams, won the Super Bowl year 1. He is an elite ball spinner. Burrow got 3 QB or wide receivers over 1,000 yards each in the same season.
Well,
that's elite.
I don't know if I'm not going to use. I don't think Burrow's the best example.
I'm just telling you.
I don't know if he made Jamar Chase great. I don't know if he made T. Higgins great. I don't know. I'm saying the same argument used with Tyreek Hill. Jamar will get busy anywhere.
I said 3 receivers though,
and they all fucking amazing.
But they all, but come on,
no, they were all big
like
time talent getting drafted. Like these guys were.
Man, don't move the goalpost.
This is legit.
Getting this guy's the elite talent, getting elite guys the ball. Like that's what I'm saying. Elite QBs make good receivers better. Elite QBs make great receivers Hall of Famers, and elite quarterbacks make average receivers get paid at another spot. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Elway, Marino. All got receivers paid at their new place. Lamar has yet to do that. I'm just telling you, that's all I'm saying. To piggyback on Schlerer's take, I'm not saying he's not a freak of nature, great athlete, and a great football player. He's a ball player. He wins games, all that. Is he an elite passer of the football, which the quarterback position, the last time I checked, is his number 1 job? Like, we keep dismissing the number 1 job of his job as a quarterback. He's not a running back.
How many elite just passers do we have in the NFL? Elite. Singular just passing the ball.
That's my point on the market.
It's very minute. But
that's my whole part every day on the show.
But even in our prime era of quarterbacks, like, again, the word elite is powerful, JB. Like, you're not saying good. You're not saying like, you're saying elite. That's top. When I hear elite, the names that come to my head is Brady, Manning, Rodgers, like those names.
You're naming them right now. Go back 10 years.
Brady, Manning, Rodgers. Would you call Phillip Rivers elite?
Yeah.
Elite.
Look at his numbers, yeah.
Okay, cool. Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, elite.
Yeah, I mean, look at it.
Again,
numbers wise, look at it.
That's why I asked you, because elite. I'm like, elite is just a very particular.
If Roethlisberger was out on the field in shorts and he was spinning the football,
huge arm, yeah.
No, but he's not an elite spinner of the ball. Like he's not.
Right.
He wouldn't look like Geno Smith. He wouldn't look like Aaron Rodgers. He wouldn't look like Stafford.
That's why I asked you. That's what I'm saying. Elite is kind of like in the production.
But by the way, either with Peyton Manning.
Right, yeah, the ball flutters.
A wobble of ball. He doesn't throw a very tight spiral. He doesn't have a big-time arm. Peyton Manning did not have a big-time arm contrary to everyone.
But we all know Peyton is great because of right here.
Before on this show, yes. So he elite ball spinner and then elite player at the position, though. Remember, elite quarterback play at the position is what equates to Super Bowls, playoff wins, etc. Elite players going over and playing quarterback doesn't necessarily equate elite quarterback.
Let me ask you one more question before we move on, or if you might have a follow-up point. So I think Lamar is a good passer. I don't think he's an elite passer. I think he's underrated in terms of his passing.
He's a horrible passer. I think he's a good ball thrower. There's a difference.
Okay, cool. That's difference of opinion. I think he's a good passer. I think he's a great next level runner, athlete, whatever you want to call it. So what I do, I combine those together. And I say, okay, what do we have? It's kind of like you're making some Kool-Aid. Okay, I mixed this fucking fruit punch. I mixed this sugar. I mixed a little water. What's the product from that? So just because he's not nearly as singularly great as a passer as like an Aaron Rodgers, when you add in the other element that he brings to the position, which again, I know running isn't like naturally part of the position job description, but again, no one said that you couldn't run, just motherfuckers just could not run, so they just didn't do it. Lamar can do it, so when they put it all together and you mix it, what do you have? You have a Hall of Fame player. It's all I'm saying. So why can't he just be great in his way?
If he's a Hall of Fame player,
he is for sure. Though I'm not trying to be funny. Like two-time MVP, the numbers, I guarantee he'll be Hall of Fame. I will bet any money.
Point though, like if Lamar Jackson is a Hall of Famer at quarterback,
then what?
Then we have lowered the bar.